So, Paul, thank you for joining me today from Japan.
Yes,
How
my pleasure.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we've been longtime friends, and you've been living in Japan for the last 15 years.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
We
moved
moved here
there
in
from
2011.
California. Yes.
hmm
And now you're helping people from English-speaking countries purchase property in Japan.
That's right. That's right. It's a kind of a side hustle that I do. But we've been involved in about I believe around 20 transactions thus far just this year alone. So that really indicates how how popular it is. Not only are there 20 contracts that have gone through in the past year, but the client list that I hold is probably about 40 people deep, and we're just waiting for the properties. It's actually an inventory problem rather than a customer problem. And
Oh,
so,
really?
so there's a lot of
Yeah,
people looking to get in, yeah, in
looking
Japan.
to get in. And what's the name of the town that you're in?
So I live in the town of Hakuba, which is behind me. You can see where I live. This is a picture taken right in the hometown, and it is a ski resort town up in the northern region of Japan.
Oh,
Probably one of the Honestly speaking, Ski Magazine had Hakuba as one of the top five resorts in the world. Quite a
wow.
good ski resort. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like a Whistler, BC, or an Aspen,
Right.
Colorado type of place. And you have a lot of ski buffs that want to buy a second home there.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of ski buffs looking to buy in the area. Honestly speaking, Hakuba has over the years a long reputation. This is where the 1998 Nagano Olympics were held. The ski events for the Nagano Olympics were here, and so it's been on the radar, international radar, for a number of years, which has made it frankly priced out of the range that many of the people who are looking to find properties in Japan are looking at. And so Hakuba itself is difficult to get into, I suppose, but the surrounding areas and other resorts that are nearby still are very affordable, and so people are
Great.
looking to move outside of Hakuba, and it's still in the general area within probably a range of 2 hours of this town. Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to buy a property, but they didn't want to wait till something came up,
Yeah.
could they buy something for 100,000 US dollars?
It depends on where they would want to buy. So, I would say that if you were looking in certain areas are very, very popular. And so just finding the inventory to buy even at 100,000 or not 200,000 may be relatively difficult. And then as you go up higher and higher, you can find the inventory. So for example, here in Hakuba, if you were willing to be up around 500,000, you could find a livable property, something that would be comfortable. However, it may not be ideal. It would probably still require some renovation.
Right.
But in some of the other areas, um, in the more popular ski resort areas, you probably would be looking between 150, 200,000 to get something that would be livable, especially close to the slopes. But if you're willing to move away from the slopes, maybe you're 30 minutes back from the slopes, which isn't very far. I mean, a lot of resorts are, 30 minutes is nothing. And then you can get into places for yeah, 100,000, maybe less. Probably you're going to have some renovations that you're going to have to do. But it's very affordable. It's very manageable. And then if you're willing to get further out, yeah, you can find you can find amazing deals and beautiful old Japanese houses for, you know, 20, 30,000 sometimes. So it's
Oh,
pretty amazing.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So out of the 20 people that you've helped
hmm
purchase property in Japan, in small town Japan near the ski resort, what's an example of an American that you might have helped and was it a second home for them or did they move to Japan? Can you share a little bit about such a story?
Sure, sure. Well, let's see. An American, we are actually in the process of helping someone right now. We haven't signed the contract, but they've selected the house. We're in the early stages of closing for this house, and there are some issues associated with it, as do come up a lot of times with Japanese houses, such as some rezoning of land, especially agricultural land and those sorts of things. So that slows down the contracts, and sometimes it does actually stop contracts depending on whether the rezoning can be done, et cetera. But that's a different story. But basically, I think Americans are unique in the way that they look for places. So a lot of the English speaking areas that we help specifically are Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, and Singapore. So those are where a lot of our clients are coming from. Generally, I find that Australian, New Zealand clients are looking for something that's more ski chalet-ish, or something that they can convert into a ski chalet.
Mhm.
And Singaporeans are very much the same way. Americans are looking for something different. So a lot of times the Americans are looking for, and some Australians are looking for really sort of authentic Japanese houses that look very traditional and have very much that traditional Japanese aesthetic. And this is the case with the current people that we're helping as well. So they are not looking only for a place that's near the resorts. They're looking for an experience, and they
Mm.
want to sort of live that Japanese lifestyle. And so they're looking for a garden. They're looking for the traditional Japanese tatami rooms, and they're looking for maybe some even like a koi pond, the little Japanese carp ponds, and all of those types of experiences that may not be attractive to other buyers,
Yeah.
but
So more
Americans
of a
like that sort of thing.
character home.
Yes, right, exactly, exactly.
Okay,
So that's
great.
been traditionally what the Americans will kind of value maybe a bit more than the other clients that we work with.
Interesting. That's
Mhm.
great. And what states do you find people come from?
Well, that's interesting. Actually, everybody that we have worked with that is American has come from the West Coast. So I'm working right now with clients in California, Washington, um, and I don't remember anybody from Oregon actually. So Washington and California
Oh, neat.
have been exclusively where our U.S. Clients have come from, and also interestingly enough, Canadian clients, BC. So there
Oh,
seems to be a
interesting. Kind of
trend from yeah, the West
Pacific
Coast.
Rim kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
So you help them. Are they mostly purchasing to live in Japan part of the year, like 3 to 6 months?
Most of the clients are 50 somethings, or sometimes 40 somethings, or not even 60 somethings, who are looking for something that they can sort of semi-retire in. And so they a lot of times they have kids who are older and who also are going to use the place, and maybe it's a family house where the parents might spend some time there, the kids might spend some other time there as well. Maybe some friends will come around and stay. And so the concepts of the houses is more or less that they'll be used by somebody, maybe halfway, half of the year, or maybe even more. And
That
so
makes a
a
lot of
lot of
sense.
times, yeah, yeah, that's the kind of concept that a lot of people are sort of
That's
taking. And then
wonderful.
and then
Yeah.
some people also want to buy it for, renting out, doing Airbnbs and that sort of thing as well.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so that happens also.
mhm,
That's very
definitely.
exciting. People are doing this in Europe. They're looking in Portugal and France and Spain and different places also to spend
Yeah,
6 months out of the year just to get away from it all and also being digital nomads.
right. Right. Yeah. Actually, we purchased a property ourselves. We bought several properties in Japan just to be illustrative of what kind of values you can find in Japan. Not only do we have our house in Hakuba, which is a nice mountain view type of house. It's chalet style a little bit, but it has some Japanese flair to it too. But we bought a piece of property right in front of the ocean. We have a oceanfront small house, tiny house, which we built on that land. Very, very affordable. We bought a couple of other traditional Japanese houses to use as Airbnbs, that are near the slopes. Also quite affordable. And then we bought an old Japanese farmhouse, about 150-year-old farmhouse up in the mountains. That's also near the slopes. That we're gonna use as a digital nomad sort of medium term rental, not an Airbnb where people come stay for a week or two. This is a place where we like think people can stay for 1 to 3 months. There's a digital nomad visa in Japan, which can allow them to stay up to 6 months, and so we're hoping that we'll have some longer term residents staying for a while and experiencing Japanese rural life as well.
That's really good to know. I did not know that there was a digital nomad visa.
There is, yeah, yeah. It's a nice visa. However, it's 6 months max, and then you can only apply for it every 6 months. So basically, you can repeat it, but it's only 6 months out of the year. So you have to leave for 6 months. I don't know if you do. Maybe you can stay on a tourist visa for 3 months, and then you kind of get 9 months out of the deal. But I'm not sure the details of it. But anyway, it's a 6 month visa that can be
Yeah, and
renewed yearly. Mhm.
that might work for a lot of people who are digital creators that want to live another 3 or 6 months somewhere else, or
Right.
for seasonal reasons, they want to be in Japan for a short amount of time and then go back to the US or Canada or wherever.
Right, right. That's kind of the feeling of the digital nomad, right? You're going to spend 3 to 6 months in a location and then move on to the next location, and then maybe you'll move back, but you'll be moving around. The point of the nomad, I guess, aspect of that. So it makes a lot of sense to go after a visa like that, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah, that's really
You're
true.
doing
So.
great work there.
Well, thank you very much. It's enjoyable, and we've certainly found an interesting life for ourselves. Now we're digital nomads ourselves, I guess you could say, from the perspective of doing what I do as my primary gig, which is cross-cultural business consulting and training, and all that is done right here in my office in Hakuba because so much is remote now, and so I've got clients all over the world, but I get to sit in this small remote Japanese village and do the work. So it's pretty amazing what the
That's
world has come
amazing.
to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to be in Tokyo. You don't have to be in a big city, and you can ski all the time.
Yes, yes, I get to actually go out for a couple of hours between meetings, and so can't beat that. Yeah.
Well, how can potential people who are interested in working with you and learning more about
Hmm.
how to buy in Japan, how can they reach out to you?
Easiest way, probably most straightforward way, is just an email, and they can email hakuba365 info@gmail.com.
Okay.
So Hakuba 365 um, is actually the YouTube channel that I started several years ago when I built my house in Japan. And so for those interested in the experience of building a house in Japan, go to that YouTube channel as well, and you can also reach out to me there. But it really goes through step by step about the experience of buying property, building a house, and then I go on to talk a little bit about the real estate market in Japan on that channel as well. So maybe some useful information.
That would be fun to check out.
Yeah,
And
please do.
yeah, for a final question before we let you go,
Hmm.
what is one thing that you would recommend that people know about Japan before they come to live or to
Mm.
buy property? What do you think is one thing that you wish people knew?
That's a good question. Japan is such a different culture from the US and from Europe. And I think that a lot of people, or even from Australia, et cetera, a lot of people have the attitude that, well, you know, how different could it be? And the answer to that is it's a lot different. And don't underestimate the differences. However, just because it's different, if you are flexible and you're willing to adjust yourself to a different environment, then Japan will work for you. But if you, at the end of the day, you really are looking to have your environment adjust to you, then it's not going to work. And this is, I think, some of the things that foreigners who come into Japan do have to grapple with. It's a major adjustment to live in a place that is so different, and it does require you to change your own perspective, look at the world a different way, and try to genuinely understand how the other people are looking at things rather than sort of carrying that agenda with you. So it's very refreshing on some levels, but you do have to leave a lot of things at the door, including your common sense sometimes, your ego, and your pride. Those are the things that I would recommend people be aware of coming into Japan.
Very good advice. Well, thank you so much, Paul. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
your
Yeah.
insight and your enthusiasm about Japan and real estate and the culture there. Love to learn more when I check out your YouTube.
Yeah, please do. Thank you very much. And anybody's welcome to reach out to me anytime. And if I can provide more perspective, I'll be happy to do so. Thanks.
Thank you.